A cat wandered into a church, but the priest let him stay. His reason will warm your heart. Cats are notorious for doing what they want when they want, and claiming any place they like as their own. They don't care if it's a forbidden spot on the bed or a hidden corner in a handbag. This kitty chose a church as his favorite place. The priest didn't mind, and his reason will make you smile. Brazil has a lot of religious people, with most of them being Catholics. There are many churches in the country where people can worship with others who share their faith. But one church had an unexpected visitor. It was a normal day for priest Osvaldo Borrosini. He got up early as usual and headed to the South Sebastião parish in Itaviaibá, Brazil. The man had been a priest at this particular church for quite a few years, and he couldn't have been happier. He knew everybody in the community whether they went to church or not, and he loved to give sermons to his flock when they attended his services. Little did he know, though, that it wasn't just people who seemed to love his services and the helpful nature of his church. That morning, as the priest got ready for his morning mass, he suddenly noticed a strange shape slipped through the front door of the church. It was too small to be anything but an animal, but it was definitely too big to be something like a rat. Curious about what it could be, the man walked over to the front door to see if he could catch a glimpse of the creature that had entered the church. He never would have expected what he found, though strolling along the aisles leisurely was a cat. It had a lovely white, black, and brown coat, and gorgeous crystal blue eyes. It was the first time that the priest had ever seen the feline, and he was amused at how nonchalant the animal was in his examination of the church. Father Osvaldo watched the cat for a few minutes, curious about what it was going to do. After seeing that the animal was simply taking its time and evaluating its new environment, the priest began to call it over. Finally noticing that someone was watching it, the cat jumped up onto one of the pews and made his way over to the priest for a fuss. The man chuckled at the lovable nature of the feline and gladly petted the animal for a few moments. However, he realized that his morning congregation would be coming in soon, and he still had a few tasks to sort out before he was ready for the morning mass. Thinking that the cat would simply get bored at some point and leave of its own accord, the priest left the animal alone and went back to his work. Soon enough, the morning parishioners showed up and began to make their way onto the pews. But instead of leaving like the priest thought he would, the cat instead jumped up onto a pew and laid down in an unsuspecting churchgoer's lap. The person was astonished at the new companion they suddenly found themselves with. They quickly got the priest's attention and showed them the situation. Father Osvaldo was surprised by the cat's boldness, but he'd also found it funny how the cat had settled in so quickly. After the service, he went to the cat and lifted him up. The cat looked healthy, so he must have belonged to someone, right? The priest thought that a family might be missing him. He put the cat outside the church and left him to go back to his owners. But the cat came back to the church every day. He would greet the priest with meows and purrs, and then find a spot to nap on the aisles or the pews. After a few days, the priest realized that the cat was a stray, since no one recognized him or claimed him. He decided to let the cat stay in the church, since he seemed to have adopted it as his home. And once a cat makes up his mind, there's no changing it. No one knew where the cat, whom the priest named Junior, had come from, but they didn't mind. The plucky little feline had won the hearts of everyone who attended the church with his lovable and quirky attitude. During services, Junior would even meander up and down the aisles, gracing the parishioners with his presence, which he clearly deemed holy, and sometimes if he was feeling particularly generous, the cat would even pick a loyal follower and make his home on their lap for the duration of the service. Junior soon became a very common feature in the church, and during Father Osvaldo's services, he always goes to Mass, the South Sebastião parish wrote in a message online. In fact, he became so popular that parishioners would often be on the lookout for the little kitty and try to coax him into their laps so that they could give him a fuss. It soon became clear, though, that Junior believed that he was the reason why all of the churchgoers would show up on a daily basis. He believed that he was the one they were worshiping. So much so that he even took front and center stage by perching himself on the altar at the front of the church where Father Osvaldo was giving his sermon. The priest didn't mind, though, and happily gave his sermon with a funny little feline sitting next to him. However, the main reason why the priest didn't kick the animal out and in fact actually made the cat, the church pet will make you smile. The priest noticed how the cat made his parishioners happy and comforted them with his cuddles. It was obvious that the churchgoers loved Junior and were happy to pamper him. The cat was not a perfect saint, but Father Osvaldo saw that he brought a divine touch to the church with the love and kindness he inspired in others. Junior also attracted people who didn't go to church. They were amazed by the cat, and even more by the church's welcoming attitude. I'm not Catholic, but I admire the priest and the congregation for their respect and affection for the kitten. One commenter wrote online after seeing some photos on the parish's website. Another commenter wrote, "I love it so much, well done." Who knows? Maybe more animals will join churches as a way for the church to show their love for God's creation. What a wonderful story. Would you like to go to a church with a cat? Tell me in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing stories. And if you want more, check out my channel for more awesome videos. See you next time.